Tonight, a grieving father says his family has been let down by his council, WorkSafe New Zealand and Waste Management after his daughter was killed by a refuse truck. Dion Neems' 6-year-old daughter Carla died after being struck by a truck in Gisborne in May last year as she was crossing the road on her way home from school. After Carla's death, the council, who oversees rubbish collections, committed to changing Waste Management's schedules to operate outside school hours. But Dion says that hasn't happened, and on Tuesday a Waste Management truck was spotted in the same place, just outside their home at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. A Facebook post by Dion's wife Fiona has sparked outrage from within the community, and whilst Gisborne's Council's CEO Nadine Thatcher-Swan met with the family yesterday to say sorry, Dion told me a short time ago it's still not good enough.
Carla was a very smart 7-year-old kid. She was coming home from Central School that day on his scooter. I'm talking about a kid that's been around heavy plant, boat trailers, tractors. So she was aware of the dangers and the risks that there was nothing new to her about heavy plant. So my take on it is that she looked into our driveway. There was a truck obscured or parked very close to that driveway, if not across it. It's hard to say I wasn't there. She looked up. She saw no one in the driver's seat. She got halfway across the grill of that truck. It then leapt into life, ran her over, and killed her. We hope instantly. And Dion, we're talking about I'm guessing a left-hand drive truck. So someone was in the truck at the time that didn't see her. Correct. And my summing up of that day was a guy that was putting rubbish collection, sorting rubbish, that being recycle. He's got in, he hasn't looked, he's just hit the accelerator and she's gone, and that's it.
And this is at 3 p.m. or thereabouts in an area where there's a school and kids all over the footpaths and walking home from school.
Correct. And to make things worse, Alex, he just kept going. He didn't even know he'd run her over.
Wow. Now, Dion, I know this is kind of re-traumatising going over it all, but I just want you to step through us in terms of the timeline. We're talking 15 or 16 months ago. What did the council say to you at the time after this happened, when you approached them about the dangers of this sort of activity happening at that time in your area? What sort of representations did they make to you?
The Chief Executive of the Gisborne District Council reassured our family and the community that she would de-risk these areas, highly populated primary school zones, by not allowing Waste Management to work in those zones during those times. And those times are 8:30 in the morning till 9:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the afternoon till 3:30 in the afternoon.
And what has happened since? Because there's been a lot of interest generated by this after your wife's Facebook post yesterday or the day before, including a response from the CEO of the Gisborne District Council. But tell us what's happened. How many times have you seen almost the exact scenario happen again outside your home? I
have first-handedly seen 2 non-conformances acting within those times. And now we've got the third one that was on Tuesday afternoon that was actually initially reported by our eldest daughter.
And just describe to us what you mean by the non-conformance.
Well, they've been working in those areas that they're not supposed to be working in at those times that whereas there is a demarcation zone. They are not to enter those areas. So we're talking They've been working in those areas from 8:30 in the morning till 9:30. So they've basically broken their cordons.
This is a rubbish truck in your driveway or close to your driveway at those crucial peak hour school times.
Correct.
Now, in this Facebook post, Dion, by the CEO of the Gisborne District Council, Nadine Thatcher-Swan, she said she was sorry, it's unacceptable. She's gone to ask for an explanation, and she's made it very clear to Waste Management the areas and times for operating, and it's unacceptable that these expectations have not been met. Have you met with her since that post?
I met with her yesterday.
And what did she say?
It was pretty much the same sort of explanation. She said that she had put Waste Management on notice. She could not articulate to me how many non-conformances there had been through her own auditing program or anything like that. So I am none the wiser on how many non-conformances there actually has been that we haven't seen. And I'm talking about the Gisborne district here, because, I mean, we only live in one of those school zones. And she informed me that they were put on notice, that Waste Management were now put on notice. What that penalty looks like, I don't know. I don't know.
Have you spoken to Waste Management yourself?
Yes, I have. I've talked to their their GM for the Lower North Island on Tuesday night. I called him myself.
And what does he say?
He was shocked. He was absolutely shocked. He thought that the corrective action was being carried out and that they were adhering to the cordon.
But there seems to be no commitment at all here to their own rules. Is there a rationale? Do they offer you a rationale as to why this keeps happening?
Mate, it's very hard to make a commitment when the belief system at the GDC believe that these trucks are safe to operate.
So what do you make of the words of and the gestures of the CEO of the District Council, who keeps apologising, but her own staff don't admit that this needs to be fixed?
That's right. I mean, I really question that as a senior leader in a business, because absolutely shocking. I mean, I just can't understand it. It really, to me, raises a question about the culture at the GDC.
Dion, was there a WorkSafe investigation into the death of your daughter?
There was.
And what did that conclude, and did you receive any compensation?
No. That came up with 3 considerations, and I'll run through those considerations very quickly for you. Those considerations were a label on the truck saying that I operate from the left and I stop often. The second consideration was that there would be an education program, and the third consideration was that we would take the NZTA stickers from the left-hand side of the vehicle on the windscreen and remove them to the right, because we believe that would give more viewing opportunity.
Now, Dion, to the best of your knowledge, have you seen any of those 3 recommendations taken on board by Waste Management?
No. And I've also had members, senior managers in Waste Management document that this would not have saved our daughter's life. These 3 considerations would not have saved our daughter's life. And I'm really concerned now about our community. It'd be just absolutely devastating to see this happen again. And if there's one thing we can learn from this, is that we can actually put corrective actions in place the best we can. I mean, cameras on the front of trucks, for example, at a bare minimum. There's nothing, no mention of that in the WorkSafe report. Absolutely nothing. No mention of retrofitting a camera even at a base minimum level. It's just shocking, mate. It's hard to take, really hard to take. This is a government department that should be enforcing and upholding health and safety for all New Zealanders, and they've got no teeth. They do nothing.
Dion Neems, the father of Carla Neems, who was killed near her driveway by a Waste Management truck last year. Now, Checkpoint has sought comment from WorkSafe, which says it did investigate the incident but has not taken any enforcement action. We've also put questions to Waste Management, but we're yet to receive a response on that. Gisborne District Council provided us with this statement: our agreement with Waste Management is explicit that trucks are not permitted to collect nearby schools during peak times. This incident is a breach of our agreement and has eroded the trust between Council, Waste Management and our community. Waste Management say this occurred as a result of human error. We've advised Waste Management's senior management of their non-performance. The statement keeps going. Non-performance against our contract, and we are considering available remedies. As an interim measure, we're looking into removing the large trucks from collecting in these sensitive areas. There are limited options for large-scale waste removal in this region, but our priority is finding a long-term solution and restoring the trust in our community. They say, the statement goes on, we met with the Neems family yesterday. We advised how sorry we were for the distress that this has caused. We will get you more updates on that story as it comes to us.